Fist of the North Star is a game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, released by Taxan in North America. The game was developed by Toei and released in 1987. This was the first Fist of the North Star game to be released in North America, but it is a sequel to a Japanese game, Hokuto no Ken. This might make the plot a bit confusing to anyone who first played it when it came out, since it was released at the same time as the manga and anime here in North America, while the game follows events far later in the series. To many, this was likely their first exposure to the series here in the States. The plot follows the anime, which follows Kenshiro, the mysterious practitioner of the martial art Hokuto Shinken. This martial art uses pressure points to make people explode, bend to the will of the one who touched the pressure points, contort themselves to death, and many other weird things. It is set in the future, after nuclear bombs have devastated the land. It certainly borrows heavily from Mad Max. The common wasteland villains look like they came straight off the screen to the comic, and Kenshiro looks like Mad Max, but acts like Bruce Lee, complete with over-the-top screams as he attacks his foes. The game does a decent job of depicting all of this, definitely better than the Mad Max game it did at conveying the feeling of that film. Ken walks to the right on most levels, jumping, punching, and kicking his foes. The punches do make enemies' heads explode, which is straight from the anime. There are many bosses on most levels, hulking mutants like those common in the series, but they are much like the weaker fare. Just punch them until their head explodes. The levels themselves are fairly linear, though it is beneficial to remember that you can go through some doors by holding D plus A and pressing right, but this will take some getting used to. You'll trek through various locations from the series, though nothing too memorable. The bosses themselves vary, but once again are villains from the show. Sensing a theme here? This one boss is repeated over and over, just gaining the ability to throw more fireballs and punch and kick you a little bit harder every time. How does Ken deal with the constantly spawning enemies and hulking bosses? Collecting stars from the enemies will power him up, and being fully powered up will cause the immense energy to tear his shirt off. This is how you know shit just got real. When he reaches this state, he himself can throw fireballs, depleting the bomb meter up top. White stars will increase Kenshiro's very slow speed, which is very useful in this game. Still, this game is incredibly hard and will require constant practice to complete, despite its linear nature. It's just from that era of games, the era where developers just padded out a short game by making it extremely hard and you had to die, and die just to get through the damn thing. This was due, in part, to many games being arcade ports back then, ports of games that were designed to rid children of their quarters. Still, a faithful game to the series itself, albeit confusing to Americans at the time just beginning the series, and worth a couple of tries to decide for yourself if you're willing to put in the time to see it through. Just be prepared to going in, because as hard as this game is... お前はもう死んでいる。何？もうあたくびできれば